YouTube. It's been a little while since I've made a video. First thing I want to say, this stuff right here, Mountain Dew Ice, I've heard a couple people say that it's horrible. Me, I like it. This is the second bottle I've bought. Tastes like a milder Sprite, and but it's got more caffeine in it than Mountain Dew does. So I think it's pretty good. So thumbs up for me. But anyway, little update. So I went out to see some family this weekend and take care of some things, and you know, we're talking, my wife and I have been talking about relocating for quite some time, and you guys know I've been talking about getting a local job. Well, if I end up getting a local job, I have to keep that job for, you know, at least a year, just for, you know, the sake of a resume, all that stuff. And, you know, I kind of have issue with starting a job, starting with a company, and having them, you know, invest in me and train me if I'm only going to be there for 3 or 6 months. So, you know, my wife and my ex-wife and I, you know, we start talking about all of that. And now, one of my dads, I have 2 dads and 2 moms. So one of my dads drives for a flatbed company. He's been trying to get me over there for a while. You know, I've been comfortable here, you know, but I've been making the money that I want or need. You know, I've been barely making enough money to pay the bills. So we sat down, and he actually opened up his book, and he showed me his miles, and he showed me, you know, based off of how much he makes per mile and all that. Well, he's been there almost a year now, so if I would have started with that company, I'd be making what he's making now. But even starting training, just training, I'll be making more money there than what I'm making here. And then once I get on my own, I'll be making even more money. 3 months, there's a significant raise, and then after a year, there's a more significant raise. So, and I don't have to worry about, you know, when we relocate, I don't have to worry about switching jobs. I can just keep that job. It's based where we want to move, and it makes more sense that way. So I took the plunge, and of course, you know, he's been talking to, you know, the guys at his company about me coming out there, and it was the hardest interview I've ever had. You know, I walk in there, and you got the owner and like one of the head managers, you know, big bosses. They're all sitting in the truckers lounge, or the lounge area, and we walk in, and he introduces me. He's like, "This is my son." He's finally talked him into coming to the dark side, as he calls it. And they look at each other. They're like, "All right, well, let's get the paperwork going. You can go down the street and take a drug test." And I was like, "Okay, well, that was quick and easy." So, and he's gonna train me. So, and he's got lots of experience trucking. The guy that trained me originally with this company, he had only been driving for 9 months at that time. So, you know, and yeah, you know, it helped. It was 3 weeks of training, and so now I'm gonna get some real training in my eyes. I'm gonna get some real training, you know. So, you know, my dads have interesting influence on my driving history. You know, my stepdad taught me how to drive. My dad taught me how to drive fast. I'm not sure if that was his intention, but he taught me how to drive fast and safe. You know, so in fact, the first truck that I drove, the first big rig that I drove, was my stepdad's. And you know, we went to pick it up, and on the way back, you know, I would sit in the driver's seat. He was sitting with me. You know, he was basically controlling it, but I was, you know, holding the wheel and steering it. And I was, I don't know, 11 maybe at that time, maybe 12. But and then my dad, he's the one that got me into the Mustangs and the sports cars and all that stuff. So, you know, they both played their part. So, point is, I'm gonna get more experience from somebody who has already taught me how to drive, and, you know, kind of knows my habits and things like that. So, I'm excited about that. I'm also nervous. You know, it's a switch. You know, it's still driving, so I'm not nervous about that part. But it's, you know, it's going to be a different environment. It's a smaller company. I'm not going to be, you know, connected to a Qualcomm, and they're going to be checking on me every day and all that stuff. So as long as I, you know, make my deliveries, but the thing I'm worried about is chaining and tarping and strapping and all that stuff. But that's why I'm going to be trained by the best. And he is the best. He's their top 5. And I heard that straight from the horse's mouth. You know, I walk in and one of the guys walks by. He's like, "Hey, he's a good driver. He's one of our best drivers." It's like, I'm not kidding. So, not only do I already know the guy, you know, I grew up with him. He raised me, taught me how to drive. He's one of their best, and now I'm getting trained by him. So, fully confident in that. So I don't know why I'm worried. My wife and I talked about it this morning. She's like, you get this thing in your head and you just start running with it. She's like, he's gonna train you. You're not gonna fail. He's already told me I'm not gonna fail. I mean, it is a possibility, but as long as I do what I'm supposed to do, I'm not gonna fail. So, but it's not set in stone yet. I'm still waiting for, you know, the finishing touches. They have to wait for their insurance to see if they'll accept me. They said it shouldn't be an issue, but don't make any calls yet until you hear from us. So I should be hearing back from them pretty quick. They're a good group of guys. I obviously got to talk to them for a little bit. And good bunch of guys. They're all truck drivers. And so they know what we need. They know what we want. And they do their best to give it to us. So it's pretty much, I mean, that's pretty top quality in a company. And the pay, like, I can't get over the pay. I've seen a lot of companies advertise, and these guys are above all of them when it comes to pay. Everything that I've seen, it's above all of that. So I don't know why I didn't do it sooner, but I made the leap. So now I'm just waiting to hear back from them. You know, I got to see my son and oh my goodness, is he getting big. Now, I'm 6'3", come to find out, because I just had another DOT physical and I must have shrank. So I'm 6'3". My son literally comes up to my chin. He's 13, just turned 13. So, and it hasn't been that long since I've seen him. So he's growing up fast, real fast. Yeah, had a nice weekend. So check this out. My wife, this is going to be a long one, I know, but I'm actually updating you guys on a lot of stuff. But my wife made an appointment with my ex-wife to get microblading done on her eyebrows. And you know, me looking at pictures and stuff, I thought, okay, well, it's tattooed eyebrows. Like, okay, whatever. Well, come to find out, it's not a tattoo. It doesn't go as deep as a tattoo, and it's actual pigment. It's not just ink that goes in there, it's actual pigment. And she comes back and it looks like real freaking eyebrows. It looks like real hair. And I'm like up close looking at this stuff. It's pretty amazing, pretty cool. Didn't take that long. You know, my son and I went out to dinner and hung out for a little bit, and then we got home, and when we were on our way back home, they're like, yeah, we're heading back now. And so, I mean, it didn't take that long. And then, so the next day, my mom has this piercing on the inside of her ear. I think it's called a daith, I think. And it's not this part like I thought it was, like the outer part. It's actually inside the ear. And my mom got it for her migraines, and it has helped drastically. She went from like 3 or 4 migraines a week to she's had 1 migraine in the last, I think, 2 months. So my wife was like, well, I get these bad headaches, and you know, maybe it'll help me. So, but my wife also has really bad feet. She shattered her feet, broke every bone in her feet, both of them. Reconstructive surgery. Her feet are literally just metal and plastic. And they have always, you know, bothered her. She can't even walk downstairs. She has to walk down backwards. She has to walk downstairs backwards. And she got this piercing, and she's fine. Like, she walked out of there fine. I actually watched her walk downstairs. She walked down a flight of stairs, and she's like, babe, this is amazing. Like, I'm expecting it to hurt, and it's not hurting. So, very cool. So if you've ever heard of that, I'd never heard of it until recently. I've heard of guys doing it for back pain. I've got some pretty chronic back pain. Kind of thinking about it. Not too sure, but kind of thinking about it. So, anyway, that is what's going on with my life right now. I think I'm about to get cut off on the video. I've got a bunch of other videos I haven't deleted yet. So, anyway, that's what's going on with me. So, reach for the sky. Thank a trucker. God bless.